So last night on 60 Minutes, there was the vice president talking to correspondent Bill Whitaker. So I went, this is interesting timing. Why would the vice president, who doesn't like to do interviews, why would she be out there? I mean, what is she trying to accomplish, right? All right, so I'll get to that in a moment. Now, the interview itself, 60 Minutes and CBS News had to know that the White House, which supervises the vice president, had an agenda here. There's a reason, all right, why they were giving 60 Minutes Kamala Harris. But that's okay. So if I'm CBS News, I take the vice president if I can get her, because she's not around very much. So I know they're using the program. Now, I don't know. I don't think 60 Minutes will make any deal with her. But I remember the Leslie Stahl interview with Donald Trump on 60 Minutes. And Ms. Stahl was tough. And she was wrong in a bunch of stuff that she said to Trump. But it was confrontational from the jump. Not with Whitaker and Kamala. There wasn't an ounce of confrontation. There were some tough questions, but no follow-up on those questions. Okay. Now, you got to understand two things here if you want to understand the story completely. First of all, here is the polling on Kamala Harris. This is Real Clear Politics average. Favorable, 37%. Unfavorable, 54%. That's a disaster for a vice president. Because vice presidents don't do much. All right, they're in the background. Dick Cheney was an exception. But to have 54% of the country going, no. So she's trying to rehab, Kamala Harris is, her image. That's what this is all about. But there's a why behind that. I'll get to that in a moment. So the first soundbite I have for you is perhaps the worst part of the Biden administration, the border. We have new stats today, by the way. I'll give you a little bit later on. I mean, this is such a disaster. There's no two sides to the story. The Biden policies have led to death, destruction, bankruptcy, chaos, you name it. Roll the tape.
Most Americans say that they don't think you're doing a good job on the border, you and the administration. The number of people trying to cross the U.S. southern border is at an all-time high.
It's no secret that we have a broken immigration system. Short term, we need a safe, orderly, and humane border policy. And long term, we need to invest in the root causes of migration. But the bottom line, Congress needs to act. Come on, participate in the solution instead of political gamesmanship.
Yeah, that's right. It's Congress's fault. That we need a new system. We have 3 years, lady. When Trump left office, the last year, there were 400,000 migrants who entered the USA illegally. 400,000. Now it's at least 5 times that because Biden knocked out Trump's policies. Now, Whitaker should have had that stat right there and said, wait a minute. You're blaming Congress, root causes, but you've been sitting there, you and the president, for 3 years. It's gotten worse every month. Why? Why was Donald Trump able to get this down to 400,000 a year, and you have now blown it up into millions and millions and millions? That's what you have to do as a good journalist. You just can't let her blame somebody else, because that's what you'll always do. Nothing is Biden and Kamala's fault. Nothing.